Okay, here we go. And hello, welcome to the first ever live edition of GH30 Deeds on JLJ Media. I'm James Lott Jr. of the JLJ. Yes, we are actually going live. The show has been in business for about 5 years now. We've never gone live on the show. I thought my intention word this year is live. Last year was staged. You know what happened there. There wasn't any. So this year it's live. And with the beautiful part of Zoom, I can go live whenever the F I want. And this time I decided to bring on a guest. We did one of my GH shows a long time ago, one of the other ones that I do. Tomorrow's Soap Sunday, watch us on Sundays. And so I thought I'd bring him back. He has his own show, which is, how long have you been doing GHN? How long have you been doing that show?
GHMV, I think I started in 2016.
Jeez.
I think. Yeah.
So 5 years? It's going to be 5 years this year.
Yeah.
And so welcome my friend, Deon Gabriel. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, James?
All the way from Canada. He's from Canada.
All the way in Canada.
And I love the hair.
Thank
curls,
you.
All that. Yes, it's cute. See, he's young, folks. He can do stuff like that. I used to do stuff like that too. I'll just shave it all off, and do that.
It's so much easier. It's so much easier.
Well, I know you change your. I was the same like you. I change my hair all the time, so I know you've had shaved heads, you've had everything, so I know you know how it is. But I got a little older. I'm like, I'll just do this. That's about right now. That's it. So I'll make you a little housekeeping first, little church announcements. We are JLJ Media. GH Dirty Deeds normally comes out on Fridays, and we cover stuff either from the past or spotlight villains, do the darker side of GH. But GH Media Spotlight and Recap, our show has been 6 years running strong. Me, Lucretia Lyon, and Frank Moran have been doing it from the beginning.
Legends.
We did it again. We had 6 years we're doing it. Every Sunday at the new time, folks, at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time now, for right now through April. So watch us live as we talk about all the things that happened on General Hospital. It's been interesting recently. And watch his show. When does your show come out?
GHMV on Sundays. The time is a little bit different depending on the day, honestly. But Sunday evenings every week.
Yes, watch it. He breaks it down also from his basement area. I forgot where that is.
It's my basement. This is the other part of the basement.
Yeah, I know.
Where I react to classic shows, which is fun too.
Yes, I love it. So he does that too. So we're all JH fans, and hi, folks that are already in the chat and who are sitting here and watching. I hope you guys can keep on coming in. I know it's Saturday nights. Normally in the old days, I'd be going out, getting ready to go out, but nowhere for me to go in LA. So we're in. Okay. I want to bring up this guy. He's so good. His name is Jeff Korber. He's been in other shows. He plays Cyrus Renault, and that's who we're talking about. That's our subject for Dirty D's tonight is Cyrus Renault, a character that at first I wished he was off the screen, and now I can't stop watching him. So it's completely changed. So overall, what are your thoughts on Cyrus Renault? Like overall, we're gonna break it down, but overall, what are your thoughts on the character?
Okay, well, at first I was like, when I heard there was a new mob boss coming in, I was just like, here we go. And I was like, oh, Jeff Korber. And then I was like, okay, he has promise. And then they connected him to Laura, and I was like, I'm so impressed with the writers right now. It's ridiculous. This is so good. I'm so enjoying it.
I will say, no, same for me overall. And as a fan, I've watched since Laura was a teenager, so they really went back in history, and I was like, oh, okay.
They really did, and they did it well too. No rewrites. It's just like they added on to it. So I was like, finally.
I agree. So what Deon is alluding to is that sometimes they'll rewrite history to make a current storyline work. And yes, sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it can. But in this case, they don't have to do any of that. She has such a rich history as Laura. They just took a piece of it and illuminated it and made it. And they brought back the actress who played Florence 40 years ago. It's the same actress who came back to play it again. So I mean,
that's so crazy.
Only on soap can do that.
And of course, Leslie came back too, which was fantastic. I love Denise Alexander.
Yeah, exactly. Denise Alexander. So she came back too with that. And that scene was, I was watching that yesterday. It was so funny. Oh my God. I was calling her a tramp.
Yeah.
She's like, which married husband again? I don't know.
She owned it. She was just like, oh, which one? Well, I'm a tramp, so
yeah.
Which one is it? You got to be elaborate there. I loved it. I lived for it.
Yeah, it was good. All right, so, okay. First of all, much has been made about his ponytail. Should he chop it off or not, Deon?
He needs to keep it. That's what makes him so, like, badass. I feel like a short-haired Cyrus would just be like, not that impressive. I like the rugged look. It looks good on him. It honestly looks really good on him.
Much has been made about it. So I at first I was like, clip that thing off. I don't know at this point. I mean, it is. You're kind of right. It's part of his character at this point. It's
Yeah.
a piece of who he is. So it's like if you, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, I still folks go back and forth all the time. I never hated it, but I was kind of like, I don't love it, but I'm somewhere in the middle. But I think I agree with Deon. It's kind of now.
It's Cyrus Renault. It makes sense for him.
So they decided to wrap up the mob storyline. So like, is this the Guza era? I wasn't sure what's going on, but I will say, I was never a fan of the mob storyline stuff. I was not a fan of those years. I didn't like it. But this one is rooted in family. It's rooted much deeper than just shootouts. We've had a few, right?
Yeah.
But it's like rooted in family. And you're right. Once they hooked him up to Laura, and finally, let's use Michael E. Knight, 3-time Emmy winner Michael E. Knight, to his advantage. Finally,
yeah,
Martin Gray. But I'm all for the Gray siblings. The Gray siblings.
Me too. The scenes where Laura, Cyrus, and Martin were together, I was just glued to the TV. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I was so impressed. And I didn't really know Michael E. Knight's history on other shows, so I didn't know. Okay. So my experience was like, this guy is just kind of meh. But then on those scenes where he's confronting Cyrus, I was like, dude's an actor. He's killing it. I was like, finally, they're using him to what is obviously his potential. So I don't know. I was just living for those scenes. So I'm glad they finally did that and added him to the Cyrus story too.
So folks who may not know this, Michael E. Knight played Tad, the Cad, on All My Children for like off and on for 30 years. He won Emmys for those. But anyway, so yes. So I want to talk about that. So they went to history. We knew that Laura was adopted. If your longtime fans knew this, raised by the Vining family. There's a whole thing there. But her father, who she never knew, and it was a whole thing, she never knew him, was Gordon Gray. And I was shocked at first because they first told us that Martin and Cyrus were related. That was the first little bombshell. I want to ask you, did you see it coming though at some point, the way Cyrus was talking to Laura, that they're probably related? Did you see it?
Well, honestly, I was a bit worried they were trying to hook them up romantically, like he was interested in her, and I was like, please no, because Laura is my jam. She's my favorite character on the show. I was like, if they put her with Cyrus Renault, I'm going to be so mad. So when they were like siblings, I was like, yes, thank goodness. And it works. It works really well, so.
I didn't think about that. It's so funny. I didn't go that direction. But I can see what you're saying. But yes, and then, like you said, Martin was kind of there as the lawyer. He was funny. Him and Nell, and we're dealing with Nell and dealing with Valentine. Love Valentine and Martin together. 2X All My Children people together, of course. That's their big fans know this, of course. But I love the kind of bromance kind of thing. They kind of like they fight. They're together. He said, "I'll be there for you with your mother." How do you feel about their relationship?
I like it. It's at first, it was Valentine just kind of using him, and I was even with Martin when Valentine went up to him, and he was just like, my mom's been kidnapped. Can you just not talk about you right now?" And he's like, wait. No, I'll help you, man. We're good. I got you. And I was like, okay. It's a two-sided friendship. I'm here for it then.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like that was the moment we got the two-sided friendship.
Exactly.
Because I was like, because he wasn't talking about, I need this, and it was like he gave him attitude, gave him some shade.
Yeah.
And Mark's like, F you, and he's ready to go. And it was like, no, I'm here to actually help you. Yeah. I think he reluctantly likes him. I think they like each other reluctantly, and it's beyond patient, wrong people. Lawyer and client kind of thing. Yeah. He's a little more like almost like Diane and them. Diane Miller is close to the Corinthos family.
Yeah,
she is the lawyer, but she's also very close to them. So it's a little bit. So when things happen, she feels it also. And also Valentine, they found out. Speaking, it's not his show right now, but we can mention him because he's part of the Dirty Deeds and Dark Side. They really have changed him, made him part of the community, haven't they?
They did. I actually don't mind that he's running ELQ. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, someone else has to. They don't show what's going on there anyway, so no one knows what ELQ still does. It's been like 40 years, but we don't know. It is what it is. At least someone else has taken over, and they can just kind of have their own stories away from it.
Yeah, no, I like that they Jason Stewart is hilarious. If you follow him on Twitter, he's hilarious. I like him, and so my thing is, I'm glad to see that he's still they found a way to keep him that's plausible. You know, we look at that because, you know, some things they stretch. I mean, there's some characters that should go, Peter, or Nina, or Jack. Am I saying those names out loud? Am I having Tourette's? Jax.
Oh, I say them out loud all the time. I am so done with Peter. I'm so done.
Well, everybody watches my other GH show. You guys all know how I feel about that character and that actor. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm very much not a fan.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Valentine, he's a great actor. First of all, not hard on the eyes, and he also is. They found a way to keep him that's plausible. That's he's connected to several people, and it's actually working. So I thought, okay, so Martin, they're solidifying his status in there. Now they got friendships. I love him and Laura getting to know each other. They're becoming like brother and sister. But here's the thing. I'm gonna ask your opinion. Do you think Martin, because he wouldn't side with Laura completely, because Cyrus, he kept believing that's my brother. Do you think he's the wild card in this whole thing, or do you think he'll pick a side when it needs to happen?
I feel like when all is said and done, I feel like he'll pick Laura's side. I think Cyrus is going to push something too far and then end up siding with Laura just because, you know, Cyrus is Cyrus. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems to be working, and I think Cyrus is just going to push things too far to the point where Martin will have to pick Laura's side no matter what. Because Cyrus doesn't care. He's just going to put people in danger, right?
That's interesting. So you think, so in your opinion, you think that in the end, he will, when it comes down to brass tacks, something comes up, he's going to be tired of homeboy and go, okay, I'm going to go with Laura.
I think so, because Cyrus, he obviously doesn't care. He's ruthless. He didn't care that he blew up a restaurant. And I think at some point he's going to push Martin's buttons too far, because Cyrus doesn't seem to have like a line that he won't cross. And I think if it gets to that point, he's going to cross the line with Martin to the point where he's not even going to be able to accept it. Because as much as I'm enjoying Cyrus, I don't think he'll be around forever. I think they'll have to, at some point, end that story. Probably not for a good year or two, you know? But I don't know.
Are you basing that because most of the mob people, if they're not Sonny Corinthos, they don't last?
Yeah, well, that's what I think. When I think of the mob stories, the last worthy adversary of Sonny, in my opinion, was the Zakara family.
I loved them.
I loved the Zakaras, but then the Jeromes came and they just became Sonny's punching bag right away.
Yes.
And I can't see Cyrus necessarily becoming Sonny's punching bag. So I feel like they'll just have to kill him off, because they can't have someone above Sonny.
That part is true. They do. That's my co-hosts say that all the time on my show. That it makes them pissed, because they feel like, to be a worthy adversary, they should be able to one up Sonny if they need to every once in a while. They don't really do that. You know, now Sonny is off playing barkeep or whatever.
Amnesia Sonny.
You know, he's doing this thing with Phyllis Caulfield. Let me start on that whole storyline. Yeah. But I thought, yes, Cyrus is the first person that scared me on the show, because he's so smarmy. He just pops up everywhere, just like, hi, so what's going on? Like, he just pops, he slithers everywhere, and he doesn't care. It seems like he just threatens people and doesn't give. So I'm like, yeah, he might be somebody who could be long lasting, maybe, but you may be right too. Let me just go say that's it. Sonny's number one.
It's hard to say. I feel like he'll have to be like Helena in the sense that he'll disappear for a while and then come back every now and then, because we all love Helena. Yeah. And we know things are going to get messed up when Helena returns, even though she's dead now. But you know what I mean? She's been around for so long, and she just comes back, and then they just put her away for a while so that we can forget about it, and then we get excited when she comes back. I feel like that could happen with Cyrus. Because whenever they keep someone on the show full time, then it becomes this game of redemption, which happens to every character that they want to keep around. Julian, Ava, Dr. Obrecht, Franco. Right. Like, it's just... And that frustrates me to no end. So I feel like, because the writers are doing so well with Cyrus, I feel like they'll usher him in and out.
Yeah, I was impressed that they decided, once they started doing this when he broke down about his mother. I thought in those scenes in the hospital, it's not hospital, but that place they were at in Vermont. Yeah. I thought, wow. So they're investing in this guy and the character now. He's not just this cookie cutter. It actually turned me around a little bit with him. And I went, okay, now I'm invested in him. Now I want to see what happens to him.
That was a good move because for the whole time he was just this character that we know is bad, but we didn't know his origins. So it gives us some insight into who he is. And I don't think it necessarily makes me like him as a character more, but it makes me understand why he is the character he is. As in, oh, big bad guy is threatening people all the time and he's just mean. Now we know why.
Yeah, we do. Now we know why. We know him and Martin have a contentious relationship. He killed his father, so to speak. That whole
Do
thing.
you think it was an accident?
Well, see, I don't know him enough. I mean, but the way they make it sound is that it wasn't an accident, obviously. But of course, villains don't think they do anything wrong. Villains think they're heroes. That's a very superhero thing, right? Villains think they're heroes, so they don't think they did anything wrong. So it could be in his mind. I didn't do anything. I wasn't trying to kill my father. Maybe he was. I mean, I don't know. Again, it was all off camera. Number one, so I don't.
Yeah.
And we're going to learn maybe it'll come clear as we get to learn more about their family dynamic. But I'm going to ask you, the outlier of all this is the Carly part of this, because she stole the mother.
Yeah.
So is Carly now the mob boss? Is she like Miss Mob Boss? That's what's going on?
I guess so. I mean, when she did that, I was like, of course she did. Of course she did. Freaking Carly. And Jason's just like, girl.
Like, I know. And that's the thing. Everybody's like, Jason, you would never do that. So like, why are folks figuring it out?
Yeah. I don't know.
They all said it. You know, it's not like you. Why is everybody thinking Carly? Why is she's not exactly innocent.
That's true. I'm sure we'll put the two together at some point. I think Laura will figure it out.
What everybody trying to still with that stupid child story with Nina, I'm like, oh, can we get over that story now? At first I thought it was Nell, but now it looks like it's gonna be somebody else. Apparently, I'm like, I don't even care anymore.
I'm so over it.
I'm so over it. So I'm like, I don't even care. But yeah. But seeing Laura Wright as mob boss, I can kind of see that for a minute. I'd love to see that for a minute. When she takes charge, it's like, no, you told Jason, I'm not going to just stand here and do nothing. I mean, I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
And she's impulsive. I mean, that's what Carly does. She acts on emotion. You know, that's an admirable trait and an unadmirable trait. It doesn't it causes problems. She doesn't think first.
Yeah.
Where Sonny and Jason are very methodical, and they know why they have to be. But it did rattle his cage. I mean, Renault is just like, what? I mean, this is not. We're seeing him unravel.
Yeah, that's the best part about this storyline is that we're getting to see him be vulnerable and scared, where this whole time he's been like, I don't know, just like a wall this whole time. And now his mother's been kidnapped, so he's just like, dude, help. And he'll go to Jordan, and Jordan's just like, save mommy yourself. Like,
okay, I'm glad you brought her up.
Yeah.
Vanessa Antoine is my friend. I mean, I became friends with her through
I love Vanessa. She brought
Canadian,
Jordan in, and I loved her.
Canadian.
Yes.
Person, Canadian, black woman, Canadian. First female black person in Canada, female to have her own lead of a drama series, Digstown. We all know that.
CBC,
I love her, everything. Brianna Nicole Henry was pleasant. I was not a big fan of her work as Jordan, maybe because I was so much into Vanessa's work as Jordan.
Yeah.
But I said on air, she changed for me when she took down Cyrus. When they had that conversation, and when she said, "Look for mommy yourself," I was like, "Yeah,
that's exactly what I said on my show." I was like, "Dude, Jordan finally stepped up." She's just like, "I have nothing left for you to use against me." Nope. So, bye, girl.
Yeah. She was done. She was like, "I'm done."
She's done. Yeah, I was like, "Finally, I can respect Jordan." You know.
But it was her performance, and now Brown has a fan of me now. Since then, because she like, I already lost my son. I basically lost my husband. She's like, I got nothing for you now. You can do whatever you want. I'll do what you have to do. I'm done.
Yeah.
I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But that's why she said, I'm done working for you. And I was just like, when she said, you go find mommy yourself, I was like, yes, bitch. Yes.
Yeah, I was here for it. I was just like, yes, finally she can just shove him out the door and not have any consequences.
Yeah, not any consequences. And he was just like rattled. He was like,
I literally have no one else to use now. What do I do?
Right. Like, and so that was a good turn for her because she sacrificed everything.
She did.
And lost just about everything, basically. Her and Kurtz are still not together. Her and TJ are still not together. I mean, and those scenes were good too. When TJ confronted her about Molly, I was like, because that was a dumb storyline anyway, but I liked that part of it.
Yeah, I'm
because I
glad
mean,
the consequences actually came back to haunt Jordan, because I was like, when she did yell at Molly at the time, I was like, this woman.
it was so rude. It was so rude.
Yeah. Like I part of me got it, but I was like, Molly's such an innocent girl, and she's just, you literally she lost all hope with TJ because of her words. So it was just like, Jordan deserved that verbal beating from TJ.
Oh, yeah, she did. No, she did. And I
Yeah.
thought it was good. And even Curtis, my man,
Yeah.
Donnell Turner, hashtag
Donnell.
who just had a birthday recently. When he went off on her too, and the point that he said, no, she was like, I didn't protect you. I didn't say. She was, that's the point. You always let me in when it's convenient. You leave me out.
Yeah.
And he goes, and you didn't have to do that. That's the whole point. You could have told me the taggers. That was, she could have told him the tagger stuff. I mean, that part she could have told him. And I thought that was kind of, because she told me everything else basically. It was kind of like, well, yeah, why do you just, just let him know that? I felt like for him, that was a straw for him. And how can you continue if you think you're working together with your wife, but she's,
and then you find out, drop the bomb like that. She had no reason to hide Taggart from him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. So that to me, when he was like, I don't know, and he just went, I said, I get it. I totally get it, because you feel like you're one thing, and then it's not true, and that's the rug being pulled underneath you, and and I love Sydney Michaela. I love Brooke Kerr as Portia, and Portia and Cyrus. She has no time for him.
Yeah,
and he loves it. He loves it.
Yeah,
he smiles when she walks away. So Cyrus has no shame. But she stands up to him, she's like, that's Dr. Robinson to you.
Yeah, she's just like, I almost forgot to ignore you. Oh, what do you want? I love it. Honestly, at first, I thought that Portia was working with him, like when she first arrived, because she was becoming like the leader of the drug thing in the hospital. And I was like, well, and then they kind of made it obvious that she wasn't working for him. So I was like, okay, we're good. I didn't trust her at first. Now I do.
Well, it's funny. With Britt, same thing.
Yeah.
Love me, Kelly Thibault. Glad she's back. Glad the bangs are gone.
Yeah.
Love that Obrecht brought them up recently when they met up. No, but I love the fact that we're finding out she's not really working for him. She's working for him for the prestige. She's not. I don't want to do drug stuff. She don't want anything part of that. She's like, no, I like to be in charge.
Yeah.
But I don't want the rest of this stuff. The other stuff's going on. So I like that reveal that she's not working with him.
Yeah, I like that they didn't kind of shove Britt under the bus for that, because it could go either way with Britt because of the character she's been in the past. Now they're like, oh, she has a conscience. So I'm glad that she's kind of working with Jason and letting him know about certain things.
Like Britt and Jason together?
Not as a couple. Not as, because I know a lot of people are for it. I don't see it yet, but I like that they're kind of honest with each other and they respect each other enough to be like, hey, I know about your past. I'm not judging you for that. We're in a serious situation, and we have to get rid of this guy because he's pushing drugs to the hospital, and I know that you don't want that.
Well, I disagree with Deon, of course. I think they should be together. As I think Sam and Jason are over.
I do too. I feel like, I don't know, ever since Jason came back, J-Sam have not been the same. And I'm a diehard J-Sam fan, but I'm not, I'm not wearing rose-colored glasses. It's not the same. But I just don't know.
It's the writing. I think the writing did it.
It's true.
The writing.
Yeah, it's true.
Killed it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like against it. I just don't see it. Maybe I will down the line with Jason and Britt, but for now, I like them as friends.
I'm sorry. I think you should bring in Lindsay Hartley as Sam. But that's just me.
Fair enough. Obviously,
for the moment.
She was pretty good when she was the recast for a while. I liked her. It was so different from Sam that it was kind of jarring, especially with like the long hair and like the snappy. She was sassy.
I loved it. I loved it.
And Kelly kind of lost her fire as Sam. Not gonna lie, I can see that as a J-Sam fan. I'm not biased to see that Kelly Monaco is not playing Sam the same as she used to 10 years ago. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad if Sam left the show, is what I'm saying at this point.
Which is okay. Folks can go out and, I love Kelly Monaco. I mean, I do too. But I just, she doesn't seem like she's into it anymore. I agree. I agree with Deon for that. I do agree with that. And I feel like the viewers see it. I mean, we all, Billy Miller was the same way. You could tell by the end of his day, he was ready to go. I mean, he was not interested anymore. Even again, it wasn't his fault. It's the writing. They had such a gold, and this is not the part of the show, of course, obviously, just a little side tangent. The show had a gold mine with the whole Drew, Franco, Jason thing. And then Sam in the middle, kids both. I mean, there's a whole, they didn't, Elizabeth and all that, they didn't do it correctly to me, in my mind. They didn't do it correctly.
That's the horrible part, is that Drew had so much potential. So much. Especially if he got his memory back and then they just kind of shoved him like in the back and then they just kind of ushered him off. And I was just like, they did Billy Miller wrong, man.
I agree. Actually, I agree. We can agree on that completely. I agree with that. So for me, and then this week, which I'll talk about on my show tomorrow, Mini Spotlight, I have some angry words about how they wrote Jason and Liz this week. I didn't care for.
Oh yeah, you're a liaison fan, aren't you? I remember that.
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
but I didn't like the way they wrote them. I thought it made no sense. To me, it made no sense this week. So I'm gonna talk about that on the show tomorrow. You can hear my opinions on that.
All right.
I'm not this wrong, but I did admit on the show a few weeks ago, I now get Frizz. So all the Frizz fans who hate me, that's fine. But now I now kind of get them together. And I love Roger Howard. I love him, period. That's Franco. I love him. Him and Scotty together. I love all that. I used to get the couple. Now I can see why Liz and Franco are together. I totally kind of get it now. But they're doing some stuff that I didn't care for outside of that. So I'll leave all that for tomorrow's conversation. But yes. But we also have the exchange between these things between Sasha and Cyrus. I'm a huge Sasha
I love fan. It. Me too.
Beautiful. She's beautiful, first of all. And I think she's good. She's a character potential. I like her and Brando together. It's another story. But,
me too.
Okay, good. Okay. But how do you feel about the Sasha? Because she went off on Cyrus too, maybe for like a little boy.
Yeah, Sasha going up to Cyrus and being like, "Oh, you're dealing with your mommy issues." I love Sasha away from Michael is pretty badass, and it's one of those things. And I feel the same way about Willow too, but like on the like they're just better without him. And like I'm a Chillo fan, so I kind of want Chase and Willow back together, and part of me is like, well, if Sasha gets back with Michael, that's easier. But I feel like last week it was almost like Willow and Sasha were trying to push Michael onto each other. Like, no, you take him, I get it. No, you can, I get it. You're married. Like they don't want him. They don't want him.
I mean, the real couple is Chase and Michael. That's who I'm waiting for.
Yeah, that's a bromance in the making. That's a romance in the making.
It is another thing.
They have more chemistry than
they do.
Michael.
And Josh Fickard has chemistry with the door, a chair. I haven't watched his Christmas movie with his wife.
So did me and my family. We watched that.
It was good.
It was so good. Yeah.
It was the #1 movie on Netflix in the country, in our country, in America. It was in USA.
No, here too, I think. Here too in Canada as well.
And his wife wrote it, and it was this whole thing. And actually, it was not bad. But I can watch him just like stare at the TV. I mean, I think he's hotter than F. So I whatever. So I watch him with anybody. But I like him with Willow. I think they should be together, and that's kind of where I'm at. And I like Michael and Chase being friends again, and they're fighting their way through it. That's fine. And I want Sasha with Brando. So I don't want Sasha and Michael together. Because then she'll die and get killed somehow. So we don't want that happening. So we want at least two of his women to get out alive. I mean, everybody else just dies on him. So let's do not do that to them. But I like the fact that she was standing up to Cyrus because she almost died basically from him. And he just doesn't. But I was almost hoping there'd be some kind of thing between them a little bit at first. But they didn't go that direction. I see.
She just overdosed instead.
That's it. But her and Brando, so that's something. So they're finding a way to keep him on the show. I think he's hot too. They're trying to keep him on the show also. And I think it's a way to kind of work that out because he came on as the cousin and the fake father, and so the writers are for what the things that I don't care for. They also have some great things happening. And Jake has been watchable this last month or so. I've been like, it's been so delicious.
I feel like GH is the soap opera that's actually just been killing it consistently, despite all the obstacles shows in LA have had with like having to stop production. Then GH was gone for like 2 or 3 months or however long it was. And then they came back with a vengeance. Like it's been so good consistently since they came back. I mean, obviously there's bits and pieces that I don't like, but for the most part, I've been glued to the TV. So I'm not complaining.
That's good. And I watch all 4 soaps, as people out there know. And so I know that some soaps I'm like, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward, roll my eyes, fast forward. Some like Bold and Beautiful where it's very outrageous. I'm like, what the days of our lives is going on over here? I lose TV for other reasons. I'm like a mannequin.
Yeah.
And,
That's like
that's
the
where,
bits and pieces that I've seen of the other soaps, just because I don't really watch the other soaps, but I'll flip through the channels and I'll run into one. And then I see just how obvious it is that two people aren't in the same room together, or like kissing the mannequin or kissing
yes,
the spouse of the actor,
yeah,
like different things. Because I think John Lindstrom stepped in for
he did.
his wife's character. Yeah,
On
and
days,
you could
yeah.
tell because I watched the clip and I was like, this is so embarrassing.
But I have to say, because I'm here in LA, it is bad here, and I
Yeah,
totally,
I understand it completely.
they're doing. I mean, we make fun of it, of course, but I'm saying that even though we had the actress on and we made fun of it, but we understand that also on a side note, it's just each studio's trying to figure it out, and these sets are small. I've been on the sets; they're small.
Yeah.
And they're doing their own hair and makeup. And this is General Hospital too. They're doing their own hair and makeup. They're trying to figure out a way to handle this. Days was the only one who didn't go off the air. Days had shows for a year.
Oh yeah, because they shoot way in advance, don't they? Like 6 months or something. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. So they were the only ones who didn't have to worry about that. But the other three soaps, we had no soaps all summer. They were gone. It was all those repeats. But
it was just Best of Sunny for like 2 months. Like
no, wait, no, Deon. First it was every nurse's ball after 2000.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was so mad. I was like, oh, they're showing all the nurses' balls, and then I was like, oh, the ones after it came back.
Exactly. I was like, those were the ones from the 90s. Those ones from the, I'm like, hello. Robin collapsing on stage and Jason's talking. Show us some of the good ones.
You know what they did, though, is that ABC.com had all these episodes already fixed together, and then they threw them onto the TV. Because they had the Best of Nurses Ball on ABC. They had the Best of Sunny. They had the Best of J-Sam, which is just episodes about Sunny where J-Sam were in it. And then Best of Sunny's Children. And I'm just sitting there like, why? I was so mad. I was so mad.
So I get, and you gotta do, but General Hospital does look the most realistic. And it's funny because, go ahead. No, please go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think GH did it correctly in the sense that they're having these almost kisses and just having them fade out.
Yeah,
and I think they're doing a good job at being creative on showing these couples get together without the typical things that soaps do, like love scenes and kisses and this and that. Because Nicholas and Ava,
yes, I love them together. Yes.
Yeah, like they got together post-pandemic, or in the middle of it. So they've had to show them becoming a couple without having them kiss, without showing them making love, and it's working because GH is doing a really good job at like implying things, and the audience, we can figure it out ourselves, but it's not too jarring.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think Cyrus should have a love interest?
I don't know. I mean, I think it would be cool to see him pursue someone, not necessarily have them fall back in love, but I can see Cyrus and Nina for some reason.
Cyrus and Nina?
Because obviously Nina's going to find out Jax's secret that he knew that Nell is her daughter.
Clearly, yeah.
And she could go running back to Valentine, but we also have the wild card that Brooklyn's obviously pregnant and is going to come back at some point. So that's why my mind's just like, okay, well, Nina, and they've had conversations before, right, about Sasha, and she's been like the mama bear to her, and I think Cyrus respects her already a little bit, so I feel like he'll pursue her once he realizes that she's single. That's just my theory.
I like that theory. I was gonna say if Tracy was on more, she likes
poor Tracy. Tracy's just been with every mob man, and for the most part unwillingly, like they all just like pursued her, and everyone always brings up Anthony Zacchara. I was like, she hated him. Like she did
hate him.
Yeah.
Probably, why not? But she's not on full time. So
that's true.
But yeah, so okay, so now I get to think of who would I think they should get together. Well, it would be weird. Well, Alexis has a habit of that too.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I have friends who they want Alexis and Finn together. And I was like,
too.
Well, they're friends. They're friends.
Yeah, now, but like in the beginning, I really wanted them together.
So I don't know anymore. I don't know if I want that anymore. But they're friends.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's another storyline. I'm tired of. But anyway, yes, I like their friends. I love the character of Finn first. I love Michael Easton. But I love the fact that he's there for her and just kind of whatever. So and Alexis knows, she's a cat's eye. She knows all the crazy things. I was like, well, if her and Cyrus got together, it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Like maybe she unwittingly just gives us. I'm tired of men because all her men die on her. So at this point, she's like, yeah, fuck man, I'll just go to Cyrus and why not? And that would cause a lot of conflict, clearly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, but the Cyrus character, I was thinking, if he falls in love or he says lust after someone, that'd be another layer of him.
Yeah.
It could be an Achilles heel. It could be because right now I think so. If you agree, Laura's the Achilles heel right now, right? Kind of, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's trying to connect with her and trying and like she said to Curtis, I love her and Curtis. More Laura and Curtis.
Curtis and anyone really.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Like, there's not a single friendship that I've been like, Every single girl he's been friends with, I'm shipping them. I'm like Hayden, Nina. Although I liked Michelle Stafford's Nina better with Curtis.
Well, that's my friend. That's my friend.
I love Michelle. I love Michelle.
I'm lucky to call her my friend, so I actually know her off camera. So she's as fabulous off camera as she is, and real off camera as she is on camera.
Yeah.
But her portrayal of Neil, of course, was the bomb. And her and Curtis, they had such chemistry as friends. I mean, they had chemistry.
They did.
But yeah, no, him and Nina, and he called Hayden Cupcake all the time. That was kind of fun. When she came back, it was good to see them together. They came back, and like they can't bullshit him. He knows all their stuff, and they try. I think they can. He's like, he just calls them out on it. He's there, so I agree. And when Sonny being presumably dead, I love he just said, I'm nothing against Sonny. Sonny was always nice to me. He always did fine with me, and it's true. They never did anything wrong to each other.
Yeah.
And him and Laura, him being there for Laura was a big deal when she revealed all that stuff. That Cyrus is her brother, and I forgot he didn't know this. Okay, he doesn't know this stuff.
Yeah.
He was busy in his own storyline. I forgot. So when they had that scene on the couch, and then he hugged her, and she kind of cried. Laura, I mean, Jean Francis the mom. Anyway, but I just thought, and Jean Francis, her scenes with Cyrus over this time period should make up her Emmy reel.
So good.
When she slapped him after Luther was in a coma, and she was like, if I find you, I'll take you off this earth. I was like, that's right, girl. You tell him. I mean, those scenes are so good.
I think my favorite scene recently was when Cyrus brought up how she threw him into solitary, and she's like, yeah, I remember, good times. And I just burst out laughing. Jeannie is so good at like everything, comedy, drama, just the emotional stuff. Agree. I love her. I'm so glad she's back on the show and like getting really meaty storylines.
Well, remember that whole, GH is Jeannie.
Jeannie is GH.
GH, right.
I said that at the end of every show that I did, like every GHMV, I would end it with like, Jeannie is GH, just bring her back. What are you doing? Like, I was so mad. And then she just kind of disappeared when they came back from the pandemic. But I think because it coincided with her break a little bit. So, but when they brought her back swinging. So
yeah, folks. Also, people, some of the actors. Okay, so I gotta make sure I say this on these shows sometimes. So they have guarantees. All actors have guarantees. I mean, Deon knows this already, but for you guys out there who know this, they have guarantees of certain many shows a week or so many shows a season that they do. They have like 13-week cycles or whatever. So there are times when they have some people they may be gone. Like Bruce Bernard was gone for a reason. They gave him a break. He kind of fulfilled his guarantee. It was time for someone else's guarantee. So that's why they're like, well, where is he? Did he leave the show? Like, what's going on? Oh no, he's doing fine. He's online all the time. He has podcasts, and she's doing them all the time. But it was his break. He had to rotate him off. And then someone else comes back on. So you'll see people go away for a little bit. That's sometimes the case. Now, sometimes it is the writing. You're like, write more for someone. Where are they? So someone like Jeannie Francis, people were pissed, and they brought her back on. And full steam ahead. I mean, it's like, she can handle it. I mean, she's an Emmy-winning actress. She can totally handle it. A seasoned veteran. And for me, being an old person myself, I'm like, you got to make sure our old people are still valuable. They still can add value to the story, and fans want multi-generational storyline.
We do.
They do. And I met you. I get to interview her, and she was the nicest person. She was just so sweet. Part of the history. She's one of the few actual icons from daytime. Everyone knows Luke and Laura. Luke, whether you were born, not born, I was there. I saw the wedding live. Whether you were or not, Luke and Laura.
Yeah.
It's Susan Lucci and Erica Kane, it's Luke and Laura, it's J.R. Ewing. And so there are people who actually transcend their shows. So Jeannie Francis is GH. I mean, no offense to Monica Quartermain and all that, but I'm just saying that Jeannie Francis is like, she's a cornerstone.
Yeah, she saved the show with Luke in the 80s. So, there wouldn't be a GH without Jeannie.
That's actually very true. No, that's
Yeah.
very well documented, actually, folks. The show was on its way out.
Yeah.
Gloria Monty said, okay, we're going to do some story. They took Homegirl, who was young, she was like 19 at the time, paired her with, Rapscallion Luke. And that was it. And that was magic. And it was lightning in a bottle, which you just don't get. And so for a lot of these characters to come on, like a Cyrus Renault, at first you're like, yeah, let's see what happens. You never know. It could go any direction, like you said, or it could go any direction. But I feel like they turned a corner, and now I'm interested. Now I want to see what he does, because now he's connected to people we love and look out for. Even though Lulu going was up, I didn't care for that. I was happy about that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was like, oops.
I want Julie back.
It was almost so bad. She's working. Julie's on other shows.
I know, but
I would love for her to come back.
Me too. Julie was my Lulu. She was my Lulu.
I know, mine too. And Maxie needs her. Kirsten Storms needs her back.
Yeah, desperately.
I love Kirsten Storms. I love Maxie so much, the character of Maxie. But that's
do you feel like they're gonna put her with Dante? If the whole thing with Peter,
which I don't mind. No, that I don't mind.
I like their chemistry, but at the same time, I'm like, Lulu's not dead. She's not dead.
She's a vegetable. She can't do anything.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though. Like, it's maximum drama if she comes back, though. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, and because Lulu and Maxie fell out after Nathan. I mean, they fought.
Yeah,
they had a big fight. I mean, she blamed her and stuff. So I mean, they always had some tension, but I like the chemistry a lot, and I hate Peter so much. I'm like, I don't care. Get her.
Me too. I'm like, just put Maxie with a piece of paper. I'm good. Just like, I'm so worried because I don't know if they'll usher off Peter anytime soon because the whole wild card story with Holly.
Right.
Emma Samms can't come back for a while, like because of the travel bans.
Quarantine.
So I feel like Peter might stick around until they're able to bring her back. Because then if, you know what I mean? Like if they can't really bring her back later on after Peter's dead and gone or whatever. So I'm worried. I want him gone, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
I think so either for other reasons too. I can't say on camera, but I don't think he's going nowhere. I think we all know what I'm talking about.
I do.
He's been gone for a while, and that's just how it is. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So on my show, everybody knows. Like, okay, guys, you talk about Peter. Everybody knows I don't want to talk about him. Like, you got to talk about him.
Oh yeah, I'm the same with my show. I'm like, okay, so now let's talk about Maxie and Peter. They're having a girl.
All right,
so anyway, next time. And then I just move on to the next subject. I'm like,
just zero chemistry, just nothing there at all.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah.
So going with Cyrus, the mother thing is out there. Do we want a full out mob war thing happening? Are we all down for that or no?
I don't know. You know what I think that Cyrus will do, and I've said this on GHMV as well. I think that he's going to kidnap Leslie, so that Laura will have a fire under her to find his mom. Because why else would they bring Leslie back at this point if they weren't going to utilize her in that way?
I agree.
And like obviously Cyrus doesn't like Leslie very much, so Laura's already going to be worried that he has no use for her. So if he grabs her, it's going to be pretty messy.
Mother versus mother, exactly. It's not even Laura's fault. She didn't do anything. She's like, she told Carly something, but she wasn't trying to do anything. She was just feeling Carly and what was going on.
Yeah, but Cyrus also knows that he can't go after Jason's family. Jason probably has, security with everyone. No one knows Leslie's back in town except Laura. So It's just the easiest way for him to go, which is why I think that's probably going to happen.
I can see that. I wouldn't be surprised. I can totally see that.
Personally, I enjoy that more than having Sonny and Cyrus showdown because I don't care about Sonny and Cyrus. The thing that made the story interesting was everything else. The fact that he's infiltrating the hospital, the fact that he's Laura's brother, like all that part is far more interesting than whatever mob war Sonny's going to have for the 30 billionth time that we know he's going to win. So
but it was fun. It was fun seeing him a brick. I love me some Steven.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That was kind of fun with Cyrus and them kind of, Jason. Well, Jason's stone cold. So you don't say nothing. But it was kind of fun seeing those two kind of go back and forth. I mean, and Stephen A. Smith, I met him in person once. He's like 6'7". He's this huge guy.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun to see them kind of go back at it a little bit. And again, I don't care about Sonny and Cyrus. Their interactions They're okay. They're not
Yeah.
anything legendary. Not yet. They're not anything legendary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I know. Well, folks, any last thoughts before we head out about Cyrus Renault or anything we think we should happen or should happen or not happen?
I mean, I'm here for the ride. I love what they're doing with Cyrus. I love that it's really becoming an umbrella storyline on the show. And I don't know. I'm here for the ride. I can't wait to see what they do next. As long as it's, away from Sunny for a bit. I want to see, him and the rest of the cast. So how about you?
I actually agree with you, Deon. I actually agree. I feel like I'm curious to see this family dynamic. I want more of the Gray family. I want more.
Me too. Me too.
I want it to be complex. I want it to be where we may be siding with him one time in something, and not Laura. I mean, or not Martin. I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Keep writing him three-dimensional. Keep giving him more layers, and I will care even more. I will care. Even I think the fans will care even more. I think that's something. You need villains on shows. You just do. It's a soap trope, but you just have to have them. Julian was dead in the water after a while.
Literally at the end.
Yeah, literally. I didn't even do that on purpose. That's crazy. And Homeboy before that, who was creepy enough, the day of the Dawn of the Dead or the Day of the Dawn.
Oh, Shiloh.
He was creepy, but I didn't care for him that much, that storyline much. So you need like a Lorenzo Alcazar, like those kind of people. We needed somebody like that caliber to come back and like shake things up. And I thought they're shaking things up with having him on the show. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. They continue. I'm with you. See what they continue to do.
Yeah.
So folks, thanks for joining us on this Saturday night. Talking a little GH. Again, tomorrow is my soap block. At 10 a.m. in the morning, it's Y&R Mini Spotlight and Recap. Me, Amanda Russ, and Tammy Govea will be talking about the Y&R week that happened. At 12 o'clock, it's our Bold and Beautiful Mini Spotlight. We talk about the crazy stuff that's happening in the mannequin over on Bold and the Beautiful at 12 noon. Me, Tammy Govea, and Amanda Russ doing that again. And then at 1:30 is Daytime Today, which is Tammy Govea and Candace Mack talking about the latest happenings in daytime. We have that tomorrow. And then at 4 p.m., your favorite show, Jason Spotlight and Recap, my number one show on my network. Everybody loves it. Me, again, and Frank Moran wasn't playing. Frank Moran and Lucretia Lyon is only one. We'll all be back talking about what happened on General Hospital this abbreviated week. There's some weird stuff happening because we had our election. We had our inauguration and everything.
It makes it easier to recap, though. I'm not hating it.
No, there's some stuff to recap. There's just stuff to talk. We had the whole Olivia. I mean, there's stuff to talk about. So we're gonna talk. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna do that. That's all tomorrow on JLJ Media. Just come to this channel, subscribe, like it, and it's just come on all day, and you'll see us drink. So bring a drink, whatever, and hang out with us all day as we talk soaps. Tell me you can find your show, GHNV.
You can find me on two different channels, Deon's Corner and Envious01. I do the GH Chapter Show on there on Sunday evenings, and GHMV Reacts to classic episodes on Wednesdays.
So subscribe to both of those channels, bitches. Do it. I told you so. So do it. Thanks for being on the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure. And everyone, please be safe out there. Try to stay as sane as you can. There's this crazy time period, and have compassion. We'll see you next time.
See you.